Even if you are advanced in years and find daily tasks challenging, the notion of immediately relocating to a residential care facility might not be the only route forward. Have you ever found yourself at a pivotal point in your life, feeling the vigor of your youth diminishing, your dwelling suddenly appearing too expansive and desolate, and pondered about the subsequent steps? Society might suggest a straightforward resolution when you can no longer fully manage your personal needs. It's time to relinquish all that is familiar and move into a nursing home. However, is that truly your singular option? In this video, we are going to reveal the often overlooked truths about nursing homes, the profound emotional and concealed financial implications of departing from your cherished abode, and the empowering concept of aging comfortably and securely within your own residence. Keep watching until the very end, because the choices you make concerning your future deserve thoughtful consideration, not a hurried solution. By the conclusion of this discussion, you will discover alternatives that possess the potential to revolutionize how you experience your twilight years. If you're watching this video, comment knowledge below. Now, let's embark on this crucial exploration. 1. Unmasking the truth about nursing homes. When you envision a nursing home, the polished promotional materials and the amiable assurances from the staff might conjure an image of safety, dedicated attention, and a dignified existence during your later years. They assure you of a setting where your requirements will be addressed with empathy and expertise. Yet, the actuality that lies behind these assurances frequently narrates a considerably less comforting tale. Nursing homes, at their core, are entities that must reconcile financial plans, administer personnel, and optimize productivity. All too often, this implies that the very essence of their purpose care can take a subordinate role to operational imperatives. One of the most widespread predicaments is inadequate staffing. A solitary caregiver might be entrusted with the well-being of 10, 15, or even 20 residents during a single work period, each individual presenting their own intricate medical conditions, emotional battles, and daily necessities. It's not that these caregivers lack compassion. Many are genuinely caring individuals stretched beyond their limits. But when one person is grappling with such an overwhelming array of responsibilities, neglect becomes unavoidable, not out of ill will, but due to sheer impossibility. Medications might be administered late, a request for assistance might go unanswered for hours, and personal hygiene tasks like bathing or repositioning might be rushed or even omitted entirely. Imagine lying in your bed, desperately needing help to reach the restroom or simply to have a sip of water, only to realize that no one is coming. Not because they don't care, but because they simply lack the time. Common staffing concerns if this resonates with you. Then there's the erosion of personal freedom, which cuts even deeper. Nursing homes operate on rigid schedules designed to maintain the facility's smooth functioning. You consume your meals when the dining area serves breakfast at, say, 7:30 a.m., regardless of whether you feel hungry. You take a bath or shower when an aide has an available slot, even if you would prefer to wait until the afternoon. You ingest your prescribed medications when the medication trolley makes its rounds, and you attempt to sleep when the lights are extinguished, irrespective of whether you are an early riser or a night owl. The life you once knew, where you decided what to prepare for dinner or leisurely enjoyed a cup of coffee on your porch, vanishes. In its place emerges a highly structured existence where your individual preferences and routines are secondary to the institution's operational needs. For many, this feels less like being cared for and more like a form of confinement, a gradual erasure of the person they once were. And then there's the pervasive loneliness, perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of all. When you initially move in, you might have visitors, family members arriving with flowers, friends promising to check in regularly. But as time progresses, these visits often become less frequent. Children become engrossed in their own lives, work commitments, school activities, and the demands of raising their own families. Grandchildren transition into teenagers with jam-packed schedules. Old friends, if they are still living, might be grappling with their own health issues or mobility limitations. Soon, the vibrant chatter of a life surrounded by loved ones fades into a profound silence. Days blend together, marked only by the muted sounds of a television in the communal lounge or the occasional shuffle of a nurse's footsteps. Studies have indicated that social isolation within nursing homes is a silent epidemic, linked to elevated rates of depression, anxiety, and even physical deterioration. Comment silent loneliness if you've considered this aspect. So, before you sign that admission agreement or pack your belongings, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, is this truly how I envision spending my remaining years? Is this the legacy of care I imagine for myself or my beloved family member? Consider the story of Margaret, an 88-year-old retired teacher from Chicago. After a fall, her family, with the best intentions, moved her into a nearby nursing home. Initially, she appreciated the assistance with her daily needs. However, she soon felt the crushing weight of the rigid schedule, the impersonal interactions, and the gnawing loneliness. Her vibrant personality began to fade, and her health, both mental and physical, declined more rapidly than anyone anticipated. 2. The profound emotional toll of leaving your cherished home. Your residence transcends being merely a physical structure with a roof and walls. It is a living repository of your life's journey. It's the kitchen where you perfected your grandmother's cherished recipes, the backyard where your children took their first tentative steps, the living room where you celebrated anniversaries and found solace during times of sorrow. Every minor imperfection on the floor, every faded patch of paint, every creak in the staircase whispers tales of who you are and the life you have lived. Therefore, when the moment arrives to leave it behind, whether by personal choice or due to necessity, it's not simply a change of address. It's a profound upheaval and emotional and psychological tremor that continues to resonate long after the final box is unpacked. Comment home is history if you agree. The very act of departing can feel like a betrayal of everything you have painstakingly built. You might wander through those familiar rooms one last time, memories flooding back the joyous laughter from a holiday gathering, the tranquil evenings spent reading by the fireplace, the way the sunlight used to stream through a particular window at a specific time of day. Packing up is not just about organizing possessions. It's about making heartbreaking decisions about which fragments of your past you can carry forward and which you must reluctantly leave behind. That well-worn armchair where you gently rocked your babies to sleep now deemed too large for the new, smaller space. The vibrant garden you lovingly tended for decades, it will now belong to someone else. Each such decision chips away at your sense of control and ultimately at your very sense of self. Extensive research corroborates what many older adults instinctively understand. Being uprooted from a familiar environment exacts a significant emotional toll. Studies have revealed that older individuals who leave their homes prematurely, before they are emotionally or practically prepared, face an elevated risk of experiencing mental health challenges. Depression can insidiously creep in as they grieve the loss of their independence and established routines. Anxiety levels might sharply increase as they grapple with an unfamiliar setting, surrounded by unfamiliar faces instead of the neighbors they have known for years. Even cognitive abilities can suffer. The brain, deprived of its familiar landmarks and rhythms, struggles to adapt. A compelling study published in the Journal of Gerontology indicated that seniors who were relocated to care facilities exhibited measurable declines in memory and problem-solving skills within a matter of months, simply because their world had been fundamentally overturned. Comment familiarity matters if you believe this. It's not solely the loss of the physical house itself. It's the loss of the identity intricately tied to it. Your home is where you are the decision-maker, the host, the keeper of cherished traditions. In a new environment, particularly a nursing home or an assisted living facility, that role often diminishes or disappears entirely. You are no longer the one setting the table or choosing the music. You are a resident, a number on a chart. For many, this profound shift feels like the abrupt closing of a chapter. They were not yet ready to conclude a story interrupted mid-sentence. Consider the experience of David, a 78-year-old retired engineer from Denver. He had lived in his house for over 50 years, raising his family there and creating countless memories. When his wife passed away, his children urged him to move into a nearby assisted living facility, believing it would be easier for him. However, David felt a deep sense of loss and displacement. The new environment, while comfortable, lacked the personal history and emotional resonance of his own home. He missed his workshop, his garden, and even the familiar creaks of his old house. His spirit, once vibrant, began to wane. So, if you find yourself at this critical juncture, take a moment to carefully weigh not just the practical considerations, but also the profound emotional costs. Could remaining in your own home for a longer duration, with the appropriate support systems in place, preserve more than just your physical address? Could it, in fact, preserve the very essence of who you are? 3. The hidden health risks lurking within nursing homes. It is a deeply unsettling paradox that many individuals opt for nursing homes with the expectation of receiving superior health care and support during their later years, only to discover that these very facilities can, in certain instances, accelerate their decline. An increasing body of research is pointing towards a troubling reality. Residing in a nursing home can, unfortunately, shorten one's lifespan. But why does this occur? The underlying reasons are multifaceted, deeply rooted in both the inherent environment of these care facilities and the fundamental alterations they impose on the lives of their residents. Comment health paradox if this surprises you. One significant contributing factor is the often unacknowledged loss of personal autonomy and the subsequent decrease in physical activity. When seniors transition into nursing homes, they frequently leave behind the everyday tasks that, while sometimes perceived as burdensome, actually play a crucial role in keeping them physically and mentally engaged. Simple activities like preparing a basic meal, tidying up their living space, or stepping outside to tend to a small garden provide valuable exercise, a sense of purpose, and essential mental stimulation. However, within the structured environment of a nursing home, these self-directed activities are typically replaced by a more sedentary lifestyle, with staff assuming responsibilities that residents previously managed themselves. Numerous studies have demonstrated that this reduction in physical activity can lead to a cascade of negative health outcomes, including muscle atrophy, a weakened immune system, and a more rapid deterioration of cognitive function. For instance, a compelling 2018 study published in the esteemed Journal of the American Geriatric Society meticulously documented that seniors who transitioned to institutional care exhibited a marked decline in both their mobility and their mental sharpness within a mere 6 months when compared to their counterparts who remained in their own homes with appropriate support. Comment activity is key if you agree with this. Then there is the significant issue of infections, a pervasive and often inadequately discussed risk within nursing home settings. These facilities, by their very nature, house large populations of vulnerable individuals in close proximity, creating an environment that is unfortunately conducive to the rapid spread of illnesses. Pneumonia, a leading cause of mortality among the elderly, unfortunately thrives in such environments, particularly when residents have pre-existing weakened respiratory systems or limited mobility. Urinary tract infections (UTIs) are another common and distressing problem, often exacerbated by factors such as inadequate hydration or inconsistent personal care practices. In more severe instances, these seemingly minor infections can escalate into sepsis, a life-threatening condition where the body's overwhelming response to an infection triggers widespread inflammation and potentially fatal organ failure. The respected Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) has consistently reported that nursing home residents face a significantly higher risk of contracting hospital-acquired infections compared to their peers who live independently within the community. When you add to this the periodic outbreaks of highly contagious viruses like influenza or even antibiotic-resistant bacteria such as MRSA methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, it becomes alarmingly clear that nursing homes can sometimes inadvertently function as breeding grounds for disease. Consider the case of Arthur, a 79-year-old man from Ohio who moved into a nursing home after a stroke. While the facility provided assistance with his physical therapy, he contracted pneumonia twice within his first year of residency, significantly impacting his overall health and well-being. Comment infection risk if you found this concerning. Beyond the tangible physical toll, there is also a crucial psychological dimension to consider. The often traumatic transition to a nursing home frequently severs vital ties to familiar surroundings, cherished personal belongings, and established community networks, leading to profound feelings of social isolation and depression. This significant emotional strain can, in turn, weaken the body's natural resilience, making residents even more susceptible to a wide range of illnesses. For an individual who is still capable of residing in their own home, even if it necessitates some level of effort or external assistance, the overwhelming data strongly suggests that remaining in their familiar environment is often the safer and healthier option. While nursing homes may offer the promise of comprehensive care, they can unfortunately, and perhaps unintentionally, deliver a pathway to accelerated decline. I believe you're enjoying this video. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video. Comment wonderful if you're enjoying this video. Now, let's shift our focus to a more empowering perspective. 4. The empowering alternative: aging in place with thoughtful planning. If nursing homes present such significant risks and challenges, what constitutes a more desirable and effective path forward? The answer lies in an increasingly recognized and supported movement known as aging in place. This approach centers on the concept of remaining in your own home as you advance in years, supported by carefully considered adaptations and readily available resources. It is crucial to understand that this approach is not about stubbornly clinging to complete independence without seeking necessary help. Rather, it is about proactively creating a sustainable, safe, and ultimately fulfilling environment that is meticulously tailored to your individual needs. With the right level of planning and the appropriate resources, aging in place can effectively preserve both your physical health and your overall quality of life, often far more successfully than institutional care. Comment aging in place if you're interested in this alternative. The very foundation of successful aging in place lies in proactively making your home a safer and more accessible living space. Seemingly small and practical modifications can collectively make a world of difference in enhancing safety and independence. For instance, the simple act of installing grab bars in key areas of the bathroom significantly reduces the risk of falls, a leading cause of serious injury among older adults. Widening doorways to comfortably accommodate the use of walkers or wheelchairs, improving overall lighting throughout the home to prevent trips and falls, or even adding a stairlift can transform a familiar house into a true sanctuary of accessibility. Comment home modifications if you've considered these. Advancements in technology also play an increasingly vital role in facilitating aging in place. Medical alert systems, such as wearable devices that can instantly summon help at the press of a button, provide invaluable peace of mind for both seniors and their concerned family members. Smart home devices, encompassing features like voice-activated assistance for controlling lights and appliances or motion sensor lighting that illuminates pathways automatically, can further simplify daily life, effectively reducing physical strain and significantly enhancing overall safety. Comment technology for seniors if you find this helpful. However, aging in place extends far beyond mere physical adjustments to your home environment. It also involves actively building a robust and reliable support network. Hiring part-time in-home assistance, such as a compassionate caregiver who visits for a few hours each day or week, can provide invaluable assistance with tasks like meal preparation, medication management, or light housekeeping, all without stripping away your cherished sense of autonomy. For individuals who require more comprehensive medical support, home health aides can deliver essential medical services, such as wound care or physical therapy, right in the familiar comfort of your own living room. Comment in home support if this is something you'd consider. Beyond professional assistance, staying actively connected to others within your social circle is absolutely critical for maintaining both mental and emotional well-being. Friends and family members can offer invaluable companionship through regular visits, supportive phone calls, or engaging in shared activities like a weekly card game or simply enjoying a cup of tea together. Furthermore, community-based programs, such as senior centers or volunteer organizations, can also step in to provide crucial social outlets and even practical assistance, such as transportation to medical appointments or grocery shopping. Comment social connection if you value this. The numerous benefits of embracing an aging-in-place approach are strongly supported by empirical evidence. A comprehensive 2020 report published by the ARP, formerly the American Association of Retired Persons, conclusively found that seniors who successfully aged in place with adequate support reported significantly higher levels of overall satisfaction with their lives, notably lower rates of depression, and demonstrably better overall health outcomes when directly compared to their peers residing in traditional nursing home facilities. From a financial perspective, aging in place can also prove to be considerably more affordable in the long run. Retrofitting a home with necessary modifications and hiring part-time assistants often costs substantially less than the average monthly price tag of $4,000 to $8,000, and sometimes much higher associated with residing in a care facility. Comment cost-effective aging if this is important to you. It is important to acknowledge that aging in place is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It requires careful planning, adequate financial resources, and sometimes a willingness to make certain compromises. However, for a significant majority of older adults, it represents a powerful and empowering way to retain control over their lives, preserve their inherent dignity, and ultimately live longer, healthier, and more fulfilling lives surrounded by the familiar and comforting walls they have always known as home. 5. The enduring power of staying in control of your own life. Every single day that we open our eyes is a precious gift, a renewed chance to live, to love, and to actively shape our own destinies. As we gracefully advance in years, this inherent gift does not diminish in value. Rather, it evolves and transforms. Growing older should never equate to relinquishing the fundamental human right to wake up each morning feeling safe, cherished, and firmly in command of your own existence. All too often, society unfortunately paints a rather bleak picture of aging, a slow and inevitable descent into dependence, a narrative that subtly strips away both dignity and personal agency. However, it is crucial to recognize that aging is not synonymous with surrender. Instead, it represents a unique opportunity to redefine what true independence looks like for you in this new phase of life. Comment control your destiny if you agree. Before you even entertain the notion of moving into a nursing home, take a deliberate pause and carefully consider the full spectrum of possibilities that are genuinely available to you. Building a robust and reliable support system is absolutely key to successfully aging in place. This might involve actively leaning on the unwavering support of your family, the steadfast companionship of close friends, or even the comforting presence of a tight-knit community of neighbors who regularly check in on your well-being. Comment support system if you have this in place. Think proactively about the practical modifications you can make to your current home environment. Simple yet effective changes like installing grab bars in the bathroom, adding a stairlift to navigate multiple levels, or even strategically rearranging furniture to minimize potential hazards can significantly extend your ability to live comfortably and safely within your own cherished space for many more years to come. Comment home safety if you're thinking about this. Furthermore, explore the increasingly accessible and versatile options for home care services. Whether it's a qualified nurse visiting a few times a week to provide medical assistance or a compassionate caregiver assisting with essential daily tasks like preparing nutritious meals or helping with personal hygiene, these valuable services can be precisely tailored to meet your exact individual needs without requiring you to uproot your entire life and relocate to an unfamiliar setting. Comment home care options if you're exploring this. Perhaps the most critical piece of advice to remember is this: Never, under any circumstances, rush into a decision that fundamentally strips away your personal freedom and autonomy. A hasty choice, perhaps made in the immediate aftermath of a health scare or under pressure from well-meaning but potentially uninformed loved ones, can inadvertently lock you into a living situation that ultimately feels more like a restrictive cage than a comforting home. Take the necessary time to thoroughly weigh all of your available options. Consult with qualified experts who can provide objective guidance, and, most importantly, listen attentively to your own inner instincts and preferences. Your independence is an invaluable treasure, one that is absolutely worth fighting for. And with the right proactive planning and support, you can maintain it for far longer than you might currently believe. Comment "Protect your freedom" if you value your independence. Aging does not have to signify a gradual loss of control. Rather, it can represent an opportunity to master living in a new and empowering way. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment "Empowered Aging" below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos filled with valuable information and inspiration. Your support plays a crucial role in helping us continue creating high-quality content to inform and inspire you on your journey. Now, let's delve into another critical aspect often overlooked in this discussion: the significant financial burden associated with nursing homes. 6. The crushing financial burden, unveiling the hidden costs of nursing homes. If you have ever operated under the assumption that nursing homes are primarily about offering compassionate care and comfortable accommodations, it is now time to peel back the layers and confront the stark financial realities they impose. The economic toll can be absolutely staggering, often exceeding what most individuals and their families have ever anticipated. One of the most compelling and urgent reasons to carefully consider all alternatives before rushing into a nursing home is the potentially devastating financial burden it can place not only on you, but also on your entire family's financial stability. Comment "Financial impact" if you've worried about this. Let's delve into some hard financial figures to illustrate this point. Depending on your geographical location within the United States, the average cost of residing in a nursing home can range from approximately $4,000 to an eye-watering $12,000 or even more per month for basic care alone. That translates to an annual expenditure of $48,000 to $144,000, and this figure often represents just the baseline cost. It doesn't even begin to factor in the additional expenses associated with essential services such as medication management, specialized physical therapy, or the intensive and often prolonged treatment required for conditions like advanced dementia or Parkinson's disease, which can easily escalate the monthly bill into the tens of thousands of dollars. Consider the story of a family in California who were faced with a monthly bill of over $15,000 for their mother's care in a specialized dementia unit. Now, let's broaden our perspective and consider the long-term financial implications. Imagine that you or a cherished family member spends a period of, say, 5 to 10 years in a nursing home, a realistic time frame for many individuals requiring this level of care. At the lower end of the cost spectrum, you could be looking at an overall expenditure ranging from $240,000 to a staggering $720,000. At the higher end, the total financial outlay could potentially soar to an astonishing $720,000 to $1.44 million or even more. Comment "long-term costs" if these figures are alarming to you. And what do you typically receive in return for this astronomical sum of money? Often, it's a relatively small and often shared room with thin walls, a communal bathroom located down a sterile-feeling hallway, and a constantly rotating cast of dedicated, but often overworked staff members who may simply lack the necessary time or resources to provide the personalized attention and individualized care that you truly deserve. It's a sobering thought to realize that hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of dollars could be spent not on luxurious accommodations or even genuine peace of mind, but rather on what often amounts to a bare minimum level of existence. Here's a crucial point that many people misunderstand. Many individuals mistakenly assume that their lifelong contributions to retirement funds, pensions, or government-funded programs like Medicare or Medicaid will readily cover these substantial long-term care expenses. However, the truth is often far less reassuring. In the United States, for example, traditional Medicare typically only covers short-term stays in a skilled nursing facility, usually up to a maximum of 100 days, and even then, it's contingent upon a qualifying hospital stay. Medicaid might potentially step in to provide financial assistance for those individuals with extremely limited assets and income. But qualifying for Medicaid often necessitates a process of spending down your savings, potentially selling your cherished home or liquidating other valuable investments, essentially forcing individuals into or near poverty to access the care they desperately need. Private long-term care insurance is another avenue, but policies can vary widely in their coverage, and many individuals either don't have such insurance or find that their policies don't comprehensively cover the extensive costs of long-term nursing home care. As a direct result, countless families across the nation find themselves rapidly draining their hard-earned bank accounts, being forced to sell cherished family properties, or taking on crippling levels of debt simply to keep up with the ever-mounting bills associated with nursing home care. Comment insurance limitations if you've experienced this. Now, let's thoughtfully contrast this potentially bleak financial scenario with the alternatives offered by aging in place. What if, instead of funneling your life savings into a long-term care facility, you strategically invested just a fraction of that money into making your current home environment safer, more comfortable, and more accessible? Perhaps an investment of $5,000 to $10,000 could fund essential renovations such as installing a walk-in shower to prevent falls or building a ramp to ensure easy wheelchair access. What if you opted to hire a compassionate and qualified part-time caregiver for, say, $20 to $30 per hour for a few hours each week? This level of support, tailored to your specific needs, might amount to an annual cost in the range of $5,000 to $15,000, a fraction of the cost of full-time nursing home care. Or consider the increasingly popular and often emotionally rewarding option of moving in with a supportive family member who genuinely cares about your well-being, allowing for the potential to split living costs or share caregiving responsibilities in a way that preserves both your dignity and your financial resources. Comment affordable alternatives if you're exploring these. These aging-in-place alternatives are not only significantly more cost-effective for many individuals and families, but they are also often far richer in the things that truly matter as we age: familiarity, personal autonomy, and meaningful human connection. The harsh reality is that many individuals do not end up in nursing homes because they have genuinely exhausted all other viable options. Instead, they often find themselves there due to a lack of awareness about the available alternatives, insufficient advanced planning, or a prevailing cultural assumption that nursing homes represent the default or only solution for long-term care needs. Knowledge is indeed power in this context. It is crucial to actively research local resources, consult with experienced financial advisors who specialize in elder care planning, and explore potential home care grants or community-based support programs. The money you could potentially save by thoughtfully choosing an aging-in-place strategy could be the very difference between a life defined by financial constraint and one where you retain control and have genuine choices in your later years. Nursing homes might initially appear as a safety net, but for a significant number of individuals and families, they can unfortunately become a hidden financial sinkhole, impacting not only their monetary resources, but also their emotional and spiritual well-being. 7. The profound psychological impact, the erosion of purpose and identity. The transition into a nursing home often signifies far more than a simple change of address. It can represent the unraveling of something deeply fundamental to the human spirit, a sense of purpose, and a strong personal identity. There is a well-documented phenomenon, supported by both careful observation and extensive research, where many seniors experience a noticeable and often rapid decline in their overall well-being after entering such facilities, and this decline is not solely attributable to increasing physical frailty. It is profoundly linked to the gradual erosion of meaning and purpose in their daily lives. Comment loss of purpose if you've witnessed this. Consider for a moment what it truly means to live within the familiar confines of your own home, even as you advance in years. You typically wake up each morning with a quiet and established rhythm of small responsibilities that, while perhaps seemingly insignificant on their own, are nonetheless profoundly yours. You have the autonomy to decide what you would like to eat for breakfast, perhaps a simple bowl of warm oatmeal sprinkled with cinnamon or a cup of tea brewed precisely to your liking. You might tend to your beloved houseplants, watching with a quiet sense of pride as their leaves unfurl and new growth appears, or you might lovingly feed your cherished pet, feeling the comforting warmth of their companionship. Perhaps you engage in a favorite hobby, knitting a cozy scarf, leisurely flipping through an old photo album filled with treasured memories, or tinkering with a project in your garage. These aren't merely tasks to fill the time. They are the essential threads that weave together the rich fabric of your day, keeping your mind sharp and engaged, your heart connected, and your spirit vibrant. Comment daily rituals if you cherish these. Now, vividly imagine that precious personal autonomy being systematically stripped away. In the structured environment of a nursing home, those small but incredibly vital choices often vanish, replaced by a highly regimented existence that can feel more akin to a monotonous conveyor belt than a fulfilling life. Meals arrive on trays at predetermined times, dictated by someone else's menu and someone else's schedule. You don't have the option to stir the soup or season your food to your own taste. It is simply placed before you, often uniform and impersonal. Activities, if they are even offered, are typically pre-planned and scheduled, perhaps a game of bingo at 2 p.m. or a group sing-along at 4 p.m., leaving little to no room for spontaneity, personal passions, or individual pursuits. Your personal living space, which was once a unique reflection of your personality, filled with familiar comforts and cherished clutter, often transforms into a sterile and impersonal room governed by someone else's rules. Lights are often out by a specific time, perhaps 9 p.m., with restrictions on even simple pleasures like having a lit candle. Walls are often bare, except for what is specifically permitted by the facility's regulations. This pervasive loss of control can unfortunately seep into nearly every aspect of your daily existence, and with it, a creeping and debilitating sense of irrelevance can take hold for many residents. Comment loss of control if you find this disheartening. For many individuals residing in nursing homes, the most devastating blow is not the physical limitations or confinement, but rather the profound psychological one, the overwhelming feeling that they have become a burden, simply a name on a chart, someone merely waiting for time to passively tick by rather than actively and purposefully living it. Now, thoughtfully contrast this with the empowering choice to remain in your own cherished home. It's not solely about staying surrounded by familiar walls or sleeping in your own comfortable bed, although those comforts matter immensely. It's about holding on to something far more precious and fundamental, your very sense of identity. Even if the passage of time has slowed your steps or dimmed your eyesight, even if you require the assistance of a dedicated caregiver to help with more physically demanding tasks, you fundamentally remain the author of your own life story. You retain the power to decide when to turn on the radio and listen to your favorite music, what vibrant flowers to plant in your garden, or whether to spend a quiet afternoon lost in the pages of a captivating book. These seemingly modest decisions are, in fact, powerful assertions of self, a clear declaration that you are still here, you are still you, and as long as you actively cling to that essential personal agency, the looming specter of feeling old loses much of its power. Aging, viewed through this empowering lens, is not a passive descent into helplessness. Rather, it is a testament to your enduring resilience, a meaningful chance to redefine what truly matters most in your life, a new and potentially rich chapter, not simply a concluding epilogue. Comment maintain your identity if this resonates with you. Aging is not the end of making choices. It is, in reality, the opening of a new chapter, one where the decisions you make carry a unique weight and significance they may never have held before. Each conscious choice becomes a quiet but powerful act of rebellion against the pervasive societal narrative that growing older inevitably means surrendering control and individuality in exchange for perceived safety and convenience. You are often subtly, or sometimes quite explicitly, told that a nursing home is the responsible option, a place where you will be adequately cared for and where potential risks will be minimized. But at what cost? The familiar and comforting hum of your own home, the invaluable freedom to structure your days according to your own preferences, the inherent dignity of living life on your own terms, these are not trivial losses. They are, in fact, the very essence of what it means to be a fully realized human being. Comment dignity matters if you agree. The fundamental truth is that you have a choice, and it is a choice that is absolutely worth defending with all your strength and resolve. You do not have to feel pressured to rush into a nursing home simply because it is the path that others might expect you to take. You do not have to feel obligated to exchange the profound comfort of the known for the often restrictive confinement of the prescribed. You deserve more than mere survival in your later years. You deserve to truly thrive, to continue to experience joy, purpose, and connection in a way that is meaningful and fulfilling for you. Yes, the process of aging inevitably brings its own set of unique trials and tribulations. There will undoubtedly be mornings when your joints ache, afternoons when fatigue settles in, and moments when tasks that once felt effortless now require a helping hand. But needing some assistance does not, in any way, diminish your inherent value or necessitate relinquishing your voice in how you choose to live your life. It certainly does not mean handing over your future entirely to a system that, despite its best intentions, may sometimes prioritize operational efficiency over genuine empathy and standardized protocols over individual personhood. A compassionate caregiver can certainly assist with lifting heavy groceries, and a skilled nurse can diligently check your vital signs, but only you possess the unique ability to decide what truly makes your life worth living. Comment your life, your choice if you believe this. This is the very heart of the matter. Choosing to stay in your own home is not simply about maintaining a physical space. It is fundamentally about preserving the psychological and emotional core of who you are as an individual. It is about actively choosing to live a life that authentically reflects your deeply held values, your unique personal history, and your indomitable spirit. The stakes of this crucial choice only grow higher and more significant with each passing year, not lower. Aging does not diminish your fundamental right to self-determination. In fact, it amplifies its profound importance. So, when the world subtly or overtly tries to convince you that your life story is winding down, that it is time to step aside and let others take the reins, push back gently but firmly. This chapter of your life is still very much yours to write, and it has the potential to be just as rich, as bold, and as deeply meaningful as any that came before. As we begin to wrap up this part of our discussion, I encourage you to take a moment and reflect on what you have learned so far about the critical importance of aging with dignity, maintaining your independence, and the significant choices that lie ahead. Perhaps it is the often hidden realities of nursing home life, the profound emotional weight of leaving your cherished home, or the empowering possibilities of aging in place with the right support systems. I would genuinely love to hear from you. Please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments section below, mentioning one key insight you have gained today that you plan to incorporate into your own life or share with a loved one facing these important decisions. Your personal story and perspective could very well inspire someone else who is currently grappling with these same complex choices. If you have found this video insightful and valuable, please take a moment to leave a comment below and don't forget to give it a thumbs up like. Share it with your network so others can benefit from this information. And subscribe to our YouTube channel for more empowering insights and practical guidance on living your best life. No matter your age, remember, your future is still very much yours to shape. Let's continue this important conversation together.